Yes.
Thank you. Okay, let's call to order the meeting, the work session meeting of the River Edge Mayor and Council for December 9th, 2019. The time is now 6 p.m. Maybe you all stand for a moment of silent prayer and reflection, please. Councilwoman Kaufman, lead us in the flag salute, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on December 21st of this location, date, and time to the Ridgewood News and the Record, and by posting the same on the Municipal Bulletin Board and Borough website and filing a notice of the same with the Municipal Clerk. Stephanie, would you please call the roll?
Councilman Steve?
Here.
Councilman Canigo?
Here.
Councilwoman Davis is out with prior notice. Councilman Bernier?
Here.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Here.
And Councilman Pasquale.
Here.
Thank you. I'd just like the record to reflect that Councilwoman-elect Montesano Cone cannot be with us due to a family situation. Everything's fine, but she has a child care issue. Borough Administrator's topics, Mr. Porio.
Yes, Council President. I have 2 on the agenda, and I have 3 additional ones that I added that I sent you all an email on. The first being the school polling district. We had a request by several residents and several students asking us some questions regarding why it's necessary to utilize the schools for election time. I think the mayor-elect had sent back a very eloquent email back to all of the parties involved and listed the 3 or 4 different bullet points associated with that. If there's any questions associated with that, any further questions that you guys may have, I'm happy to answer. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I actually had a question whether or not the schools, if they have concerns or issues, do they report them back to the County Board of Elections for remediation? Like, let's say, if they feel there's 2 entrances and one should be closed, does any feedback go from the schools back to the authority of the elections?
Unfortunately, it has to come through
you?
clerk's office.
Okay.
Yes.
And okay, so have you gotten any? Okay.
No.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
I just would like to state for the record that if there was another viable location, the borough would certainly work with the County Board of Elections to make that change. But as of right now, we do not have viable locations for change. But maybe with the community center, we might be able to alleviate maybe one of the schools. We'll see once the community center is built.
Very good.
Next topic is the New Jersey domestic violence policy. In consultation with our attorney, I'm asking you to go ahead and table any action on this as of today. Right now, while they've listed the policy, they have not incorporated the training associated with it. I think once we come out, or once the state comes out with the new training policy, it's something that either the council as whole or the personnel committee can certainly come back and revisit. Next item that I sent an email to you all on deals with the Historical Commission. I was posed some interesting questions over the past week regarding the Historical Commission, and in no particular order. Question number 1 becomes, is a minor allowed to be a member of the Historical Commission? And quite frankly, when we got to that point, it made me stop and reflect a little bit as far as if you're going to look and set precedents, and perhaps there has already been precedents that have been set, but if it was okay for the Historical Commission, is it okay for Recreation? Is it okay for the Planning Board? Is it okay for Traffic and Safety? So on and so forth. So I think that's something that Council needs to be conscientious of. Point number 2 associated with that is, my personal opinion is I fully believe in student involvement. I think it's a good thing to have students represented on various boards and committees, but perhaps you may want to consider not as a voting member. I know from my early days as a department head with recreation, I had 2 students, a male and a female, that were representatives from the high school that would come to our meetings and attend and participate and put in their 2 cents, but really when it came down to votes, they weren't considered voting members. So, and the third question that was posed is, as it deals with underage and also as well as other members, the potential of those individuals living out of town and what your thought processes are as, let's say, a member from, or a resident from Oradell that wants to be part of the Historical Commission in River Edge. So those are 3 different topics that I kind of wanted to broach the conversation with you all and get some feedback and some direction of how you wanted to move forward with this, depending upon the direction that you give to me as a council. May require us to modify our ordinances, and I turn it over to you all.
So there was one teen who's already been on the commission previously, and the prior lawyer had said that it was okay for him to vote. So as an alternate, you only vote when the 5 regulars don't have enough there for a quorum. So he had been given permission previously, and there are 2 teams now that are interested in joining the commission. One of them lives in River Edge, one doesn't. And they'll both be able to help us with Facebook and Instagram because no one else from the commission is really doing that piece of the job. So you could say they bring something to the table, even for the person from Oradell. He knows that we're only going to be doing River Edge history, not Oradell history.
There's also a Riverdale student who was appointed to the Environmental Commission as well, because precedent had been set with the Historic Commission. So I don't know whether it's part of their local governing ordinance, like who would determine that, whether or not?
You would have to do it by ordinance if you wanted
We'd have
to
to
set
do it
an
by
18,
ordinance.
if you wanted them to live. I mean, I guess it comes to you want somebody out of town voting on historic designations.
In
And
town.
actually, yeah, in
Yeah.
town, that's
That's
entirely up
tough.
to you, but there is no statute, regulation, ordinance that says that you can be, under, and I think it's great that they want to get involved, but, should they be voting members, should they, take
Is there
a
a
lesser
historic
role?
commission in Oradell?
I don't know if they have a commission or a committee. I don't know.
Historic?
I don't know. Do they?
But as Ray says, it goes to all,
I'm
not sure.
all other organizations, committees.
So Tom was very helpful with the Municipal Alliance when we needed to set voting members and non-voting members, remember, to help us for our quorum. So we have language in an ordinance today which establishes voting members versus non-voting members if we wanted to do that.
For the...
The Alliance, Municipal Alliance. Yeah.
We did.
Oh, yeah. So we could follow that model.
Personally, I think they should be allowed to be on, but as non-voting members. I think only residents should be voting members on any committee or commission in town.
What about the teenager who is
Minors
from River
versus-
Edge? One is and one isn't.
As far as voting rights are concerned, I think you should be a resident in order to vote.
Okay.
As far as the teenagers, I think perhaps an age cutoff should be considered, because 14's a teenager and 17's a teenager. So, perhaps 16 as the cutoff to be voting. If we want to go down that route. Personally, I think it should be, honestly, over 18, especially because of situations like the Land Use Board and some of the commissions that take on bigger subject matter than others. So,
I mean, they're trying to get younger teens just so that they have them for a few years, because by the time they're a senior, they're checking out of everything kind of mentally at that point. And normally people have a 4-year term, so they're trying to get like a sophomore who could be on for 3.
So could they be a non-voting member?
Well, I think that would be appropriate. I don't think commissions and boards should have adolescents voting. If a committee wants to do something like that, well then, I think, again, in my general thinking is need to be organic, which means we should be asking the committee whether they wish for them to grant voting rights, and then I would rather see an ordinance that says voting rights can be granted to a minor if the committee so wishes it. But I don't think that we should be granting voting rights to boards and commissions because they have authority that is binding, and therefore it really has to be a legal adult, in my opinion. But that's just me.
So there's 5 regular members and 2 alternates, so if neither of them can be voting alternates, are they going to have to get 4 alternates? That's the question.
Well, I think there can be another membership
Another
level.
category of
Yeah.
member, of a non-voting
But-
member.
So the chair,
The student representative,
Yeah.
non-voting
They
student
could
representative.
add the numbers of members to the commission, right?
Well, they can be called liaisons if we wish to.
because the chairwoman is saying that for the amount of time the teen member puts in, they would want to vote.
That's her opinion, or
Yes.
that's, okay, so I appreciate her opinion, but I think what we're saying is we don't want minors to be appointed as voting members to any of our commissions,
Or
or
boards.
committees, or boards, rather.
It can substantially affect the rights of residents.
Right.
And
Right.
I think we should have adults making those decisions.
Okay.
So I don't in any way belittle their ability to think through things. However, for a variety of reasons in the law, there is a cutoff at 18 as an adult, and you can't vote for elections
Right.
before you're 18. And
So they would still need 7 members, and then these 2 people would just be extra.
Are they having a hard time filling the board? Is that it?
There are slots that need to get filled right now. So, one of them had been a teen alternate who had been voting previously.
we're talking about historic.
Yeah.
Do we know whether or not that ordinance was modified when Mayor Mignon appointed that
I
individual?
believe not, but I think that the alternate that you may be speaking about
John,
is already and has been 18.
Was he 18 when he was appointed?
I believe
I
so.
don't think so.
Because he's in college.
He's in college now, yeah, he's
Fine,
gone, but I don't think he was 18 when he joined.
I think it sounds, do we need some type of a motion to move forward on this?
I think,
But the ordinance doesn't speak to it. so-
well, if I may, from what I'm hearing, I would summarize by saying this. What I'm hearing from the council is that you have no objection of having 2 individuals serve as members of the commission as non-voting members. I can take a look and see, and our attorney and I can take a look and review the current ordinance and see if they have the ability to just add them in, or whether we need to amend our current ordinance. But either way, that seems to be the direction of where you guys want to head.
I think you do need to amend it because the
Okay.
alternates have been allowed to vote.
I mean, we can amend it. I don't foresee any.
Now, if we allow non-residents to join the historic, that means we have to allow non-residents to join other commissions and boards?
Yeah, well, I think
Comfortable, I am.
I'm not comfortable with non-residents being part of any commissions, boards, or commissions or boards. A committee, again, I would like to, if we want to do something like that, I think we give the authority to the committee to consider whether they want to add a non-resident. But I'm not really thrilled about that idea either.
I mean, if he's going to be non-voting,
Yeah, the difference is,
it's a government, it's a
So the
local
mayor and
government.
council's appointing members to the committee, so you have a lot more
Right.
leeway as to who you want to appoint and not appoint. Commission, you don't have that ability. They're appointing it. You can set the parameters of it by ordinance, but they're appointed. By committee, though, if somebody wants to, I mean, you're
You
appointed.
could always have a non-resident be a liaison, like a Riverdale liaison.
Or a volunteer,
Yeah.
you can just volunteer for the committee, but not be-
Because he's interested in history and he'd be willing to help, so.
But why is being on the commission as a voting member a deal breaker?
No, well, I think the council's already saying.
No, I'm asking if that is, I'm trying to understand, because it seemed to me that that's what you said, but maybe I misunderstood.
I don't know if it is or isn't a deal breaker.
I was just asking, I wasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
So will you look at
I
our
understand,
ordinances?
yes. I'll take care of it.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Is the council okay with the Oradell student then participating?
oh,
I
yeah.
don't have a problem with him or he or her volunteering.
Okay. Okay,
And it's much appreciated as well.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
yeah.
Next item I have on the agenda is a receipt.
So, sorry, one more thing. If the other teen or this teen is a non-voting member, is the council comfortable with them doing Instagram and Facebook posts for the commission?
Not independently, but under the guise of an adult.
All right.
Because we do have a social media policy, and that social media policy,
It's the person who gets approved as the kind of the owner of that social media, someone from the commission.
No one's been doing it at all, so,
I think it's something we can work through.
all right, all right.
I think one of the voting members has to oversee it and take responsibility for whatever's posted. I think that's the.
Ultimately, right.
Okay.
Okay. Next item that I have on the agenda, I received a letter in the mail today regarding a bike share program sent to me by TNEC. They wanted to know if the borough would be interested in pursuing such a venture. You know what I know, I sent you the letter. I just kind of wanted to get the pulse from you. If that's something you are interested in, I can say that we are, and I'll attend these meetings. If you say, you know what, we really are not interested in that as of today, I can let the administrator know.
Can you say that, what share?
Bike sharing program.
Like bicycle?
I'll tell you, in the city, when people do that, they never wear helmets, which is my problem.
You just forwarded this earlier tonight,
Yes, I
right?
have.
I haven't had a chance
I
to
haven't
look
had a
at it,
chance.
so I think we should just table it for another meeting and
Whatever you,
give
I
it
didn't look
direction.
at it either, whatever you forwarded, does it have some more information other than?
No.
I think we're gonna need a little more information. And I'm not quite sure how we would make it work out with TMAC, they're not exactly.
We weren't the only
Right, they-
municipality.
There was about 7 or 8 different municipalities that were asked to participate, and it was kind of like a trial balloon of throwing it out there. If you're interested, let me know, and we're going to sit down and have
City bike
a...
program, that there's bikes everywhere, that's.
Yes.
I asked the same question.
Yeah, okay.
I would assume there's some sort of monetary
Probably-
participation.
Right. I don't know enough about it to, is it a priority? Do we want to have?
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about
information?
it. I think biking is great, it helps the environment, there's a lot of, ways it can be useful. I do have the same concerns as Councilwoman Kaufman about the helmets, but certainly I think we need more information before saying yes or no.
Could you ask them to put some more information in writing? I don't know that we need you to be going to meetings at this point, so
Yeah.
we know.
I'm happy to ask for it.
Thank you.
Last item that I have on the agenda, this is just a public service announcement. Our street sweeper is broken, so it's expected to be repaired by the end of the week. So while the guys go through and remove the leaves, typically the street sweeper follows behind after they picked up the leaves. So if you do see some of the leaves left over in the street, we're aware of it, we know about it, and as soon as the street sweeper is fixed, we will be back out there and picking up the balance of leaves associated with it. That's it, Mayor and Council.
We have no items on for discussion. Do we have a consent agenda? We don't have a consent agenda either, do we? Okay, no items on for consent agenda. Mayor's report. I'm just going to report that Recreation Director Carolyn Valdonza has gone out to the public to ask if anybody's interested in participating on the Cultural Affairs Committee, which was created per ordinance when the new Recreation Commission ordinance was developed, so she's now following through on that piece of it. So she did post on Facebook looking for residents, so I'm going to mention to the public, if anybody's interested, please reach out to Carolyn Valdonza in the Recreation Department. There's nothing for your information. Is there any unfinished business anyone would like to bring up? Any new business?
Actually, I'd like to unfinish business. Where are we with our Cablevision Verizon connection?
I sent out emails to 2 different companies for quotes on specific pieces of equipment. The Nick, who's for Oradell, also recommended microphones. That was not part of what I included on the request. So I'm just waiting for these 2 companies to get back to me.
So I have a follow-up question if I can. We were able to air it. I mean, I taped it. I'm a Verizon customer. Why can't we air right now? Is it that it's just, or are we just waiting until we have everything in place and that was just trial runner? Can you speak to that?
The only thing that I know for sure is that according to, again, Nick, there's a cable line that is not currently working. So that cable has to be purchased and it has to be reworked through the building. And that should set us up for airing on the cable companies.
So it was working and it failed, or he didn't say?
He ran a ad hoc wire, if you want to call it. So we have a list of about 15 different items to get it to run right. You can plug it in and, again, run it through the back and plug it in there and plug it in there and probably get it up and running, and then you need someone to actually run the TV. So I think it's more than just plugging in so the system works. There needs to be further discussion, which will be part of our budget discussion, as who's going to do this. Are we hiring them? Are we looking for volunteers? Are we bringing, the individuals that participated last time? So it's more than just a simple fix.
Okay.
Riverdale has a TV department, right?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think so.
The high school?
Yeah.
They do, yeah.
Maybe we could reach out to them. Maybe we can do some sort of joint program with them. Maybe students get credit for...
Certainly, it's a civics lesson.
I would certainly like to see it, I know Stephanie's been assigned to doing this, but we really need to assign enough people to make sure that it gets done, because I feel like it's a lot, and it's...
Maybe the technology committee should take the lead in reaching out to Riverdale?
Well, I think maybe the technology committee could just meet and understand what the needs are to move it forward, and then we figure out as a council what we need to get it done. Was there any new business? May I have a motion to open to the public, please?
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public. On any item, there will be another opportunity to address the council during our regular meeting. Seeing no comments, may I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Can I have a motion to adjourn the work session of the mayor and council, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're-
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Stephanie, you ready? We can go right in?
Yes.
Ready? Okay. I call to order the regular meeting of the Borough of River Edge Mayor and Council. Today is December 9th. The time is approximately 6:30. We all stand for a moment of silent prayer and reflection. Councilman, can you go read us the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification on December 21st of this location, date, and time to the Ridgewood News and the Record, and by posting of same on the municipal bulletin board and borough website, and filing a notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Stephanie, would you call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Steve?
Yeah, here.
Councilman Kamigo?
Yeah.
Councilwoman Davis is out with prior notice. Councilman Guerriere?
Here.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Here.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Here.
Thank you. Again, for the record, Councilwoman-elect Montesano Cone is absent with prior notice. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the Mayor and Council regular session meeting of November 25th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Okay.
Do we need, I'm gonna,
Yes.
yeah, I need a roll call.
Councilwoman Steve?
Abstain?
Councilman Kamigo?
Yes.
Councilman Guerriere?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Thank you. We have no proclamations and awards on the agenda tonight. I have a motion to open to the public on any item on this agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're now open to the public on any agenda item. Just need to come forward and state your name. Seeing none, we have a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There's no appointments and personnel changes tonight. There's no notice of correspondence. We do have one monthly report from the tax collector, report of receipts and disbursements for 2019. That's on record with the clerk's office for anyone to request. Number 11, I believe this should say second reading and public hearing ordinances. Okay, so Stephanie, would you please read this by title?
Ordinance 19-21 is an ordinance to repeal Chapter 33 of the Code of the Borough of River Edge Fire Department and replace it in its entirety with Chapter 33 Fire Department.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to open the hearing to the public, please?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. What? Oh, before any public speaks, I'm going to let Mr. Poirier speak.
Just a couple notes on this particular topic. Over the past week or two, I've been going back and forth and discussing some additional changes that the fire department has requested. I don't think any of the changes ultimately council will object to. I do think there are one or two in there that you probably do need to have some discussion on. One of the biggest problems associated with some of the changes that they were asking for is the changes now would not be consistent. If we made the changes in which they were asking for, they would not be consistent with their bylaws. So I've gone back and I've asked the fire department, and speaking with them of when they're going to amend their bylaws. We feel that that should occur within the next several months. And I've asked them to come back once they have amended their bylaws and to approach me and the council and on several items that they were looking to go ahead and amend, as far as percentages and a couple other items in there that council certainly would reconsider that. Thank you.
So we are open to the public on this ordinance, if anybody would like to speak. Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion
Just
to
the
close?
VA's phone wants to speak.
Can I have a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Does council have any discussion on the ordinance? Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 19-21, please?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Bastide?
Yes.
Councilman Kanigo?
Yes.
Councilman Bernier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kaufman?
Yes.
And Councilman Papaleo?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'd like to thank the Borough Administrator, the subcommittee of the Fire Department, the subcommittee of the Council, and Mr. Sarlo, Mr. others for working very hard to get to this point. Thank you. Resolutions by consent. Would anybody like to call any of these items out for separate vote or discussion, please? No? Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve Resolution 19-378 through 19-381, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Would Councilwoman Kaufman please read move and read 19-382, payment of bills?
Whereas vouchers for the payment of goods and services rendered to the Borough of River Edge have been received, and whereas each bill has been checked by the receiving department, approved by the Chief Financial Officer and Borough Clerk, and reviewed by the 3 members of the Finance Committee, now therefore be it resolved that bills as listed now be confirmed for payment from the appropriate funds as follows. Current account, $181,639.61. Capital account, $6,528.98. Grant fund, $1,547. Animal control account, $221.72. Trust other account, $3,520.90. Open space account, $650. Payroll account, $294,081.85. Developers escrow account, $1,420. Recreation account, $25. Be it further resolved that claims read and approved by the governing body at a council meeting will be dated the day after the reading of those claims and will appear on the following bill list at the next public meeting of the mayor and council, at which time claims would be paid. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. A motion to open to the public on any item?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're now open to the public on any item they'd like to come speak about. Just come forward, state your name and address.
Cindy Cleese, 745-7000. I just wanted to know who I would speak with in regard to our recycling program here that we have to pick up on, and the 1, 2, and 5. You know how because we started the 1, 2, 5 to stop having to pay for them to throw out, to be paying for extra things to be trashed. I just want to know because I've heard about that some places take the other than the 1, 2, 5, or they wash them out and they spend a lot of money to get rid of them to get rid of them. And there are a lot of towns that don't do what we do, but they actually allow a much larger variety. And things have changed over the last couple of years. So is there somewhere I could read what we have to do and what the dollars and cents were of it?
So I believe that that's determined by the people who pick up our recycling, what they accept, correct? That's in terms of the contract with the
It would be part of the bid documents of,
Right.
What's associated in the bid of what we asked them.
Correct.
Yeah. If you want a copy of the bid, I'm happy to provide that for you.
I'm curious as to, because there are places that actually clean out everything and take everything versus this, and why we decided, because we're throwing away so much stuff into the trash, by not allowing the recycle company to pick it all up. And if it's really getting thrown in the trash, into our trash dumps, then I want to see if there's anything we could do about it, because there's just way too much garbage going out.
But let's talk after the meeting, and let me get a little more detail for you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Motion to close to the public, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council comments. Councilwoman Kaufman.
No comments today.
Councilman Cody.
Thank you. I attended the tree lighting ceremony over on Saturday. Everyone did a great job. The Girl Scouts were terrific at caroling at the event. Carolyn did a wonderful job setting it all up, and I thought I'd like to thank the fire department for their role and helping out with that, as well as the DPW. And I thought the photo booth was a terrific addition for the event. Thank you.
Councilman Papalia.
Just want to echo the same thing. I want to thank our fire department for hosting and escorting Santa into town on our antique fire, and for allowing us to come into their company number 1's space. I'd like to thank the DPW for everything they did to prepare the town for this event, not just cleaning up, but also putting up the snowflakes and the artificial tree that's now at a really great location of Maine and Kincaid. Not that it wasn't a great location up here, but that portion of the town kind of got neglected a little bit, so it's really great to have it down there. Definitely want to thank the police department, especially our volunteer core of the police department, for keeping us all safe. There were lots and lots of little kids here, and they were running all around having a great time, and it was great that our police department was there doing that. And of course, everything that Rec and Beautification did to prepare the day, including decorating our tree and coordinating the singers, the daisies, the Girl Scouts. Really wonderful job with that, and a special thanks to Carolyn for heading all this up and continuing to do a great job for us here in River Edge. Thank you.
Nico.
Thank you. I will also echo the thank you for the hard work of our recognition, Carolyn, the fire department, and the Girl Scouts, everybody involved, the DPW for the tree lighting and the Santa Claus event at the firehouse. I look forward to it every year, as do I, and it was terrific. I wanted to congratulate the newly elected members, or officers rather, of the River Edge Fire Department. Since the last meeting, several more were elected, and thank the outgoing officers for their service and I'm sure continued service. The DPW did, as always, a great job in clearing the streets when it snowed. There was a snow and ice event, I don't know, a week and a half ago, and you would drive out of River Edge, and it was a disaster, but River Edge was fantastic as always. Remind the residents, once again, please lock your doors, your car doors. There have been a few thefts reported. There's always an uptick in people who try to get over on others during the holidays especially. But they can, simply be rebuffed by locking their doors. And the few break-ins the River Edge Police reported all had to do with people who left their doors unlocked. And individuals are going up, trying the door. If it's locked, they move on to the next car. And when they find the unlocked car, they rummage through and take whatever they can and try to get away with it. So the police can't be at all places at all times. We have a great police department. They patrol our streets. But you just can't prevent it. So we as homeowners and residents, we have to make sure that we protect ourselves as well. So please lock your doors. Otherwise, this is the last meeting, so happy holidays to everybody.
I wasn't able to attend Councilwoman Davis's final meeting, so I just would like to, on the record, thank her for her friendship and her service to the borough. I know she's not going anywhere. She will be a volunteer extraordinaire in other ways, as she always has in the borough, but I want to just publicly thank her for her service. I'd also like to remind commuters that live in the borough that cars cannot see you when you're crossing the street getting off the bus. This council is working hard to improve those things by putting in flashing pedestrian sites and working with PSE&G on the wattage of the streetlights. Our emergency services do a fabulous job, but please, please, please wear something reflective, cross in a group, do something to please help yourself, because we're trying to help you, but please do something to help yourself to prevent an accident. I know we had a resident come to us and ask if we could address Reservoir and Kinderkamak, because it's a really hard place to cross, so Traffic and Safety has added that as a priority for a flashing pedestrian sign when we do put money in the budget for that. So, and yes, happy holidays to all, and we will see everyone back here on January 6th for the exciting swearing in of our mayor-elect. So,
And our council people.
that's true. Yep. That's it. A motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you all.
Well, so you can...